Every once in a while, Fred likes to show off, but I think he's really just trying to demonstrate what we can do with a little bit of diligent work and practice over time. Fred used to have pretty painful hamstrings until he started to do a basic few exercises that anybody can do with stuff they have around the house. What's that you say? It's not stretching. What we really need to do is get those hamstrings strong, and then they won't feel so tight. So we're going to show you a few ways to make those hamstrings long that's a little bit more effective than just stretching. The first thing that we want to do is learn how to hinge at the hips safely and appropriately. Many times we overuse our back and we underuse our hamstrings and hips to pick stuff up off the ground. And sometimes if we use both feet at the same time, we can overcompensate and miss weak spots, which actually makes those weak spots weaker over time. So the first place that we like to start is standing with your back to a wall, exactly one knee length away from the wall. And if you need to, you can have some sort of balance like a broom here. Most of us hopefully clean our house once in a while. And with my feet parallel, my legs parallel, standing nice and tall, and I'm really pressing into the wall here, what I'm going to do is try to sit down on my back heel. And when I do this, I'm pushing my butt back. I'm not leaning forward. I'm trying to keep my spine nice and straight, and I sit back on that back heel. And you should feel some tension build up in that hip. Now, things that I really want you to pay attention to. I always talk about trying to put a little bit more weight on the toes, almost as if you could slide a tiny thin piece of paper under your heel. When we activate our toes, we activate our calf muscles, and that activates our hamstring. And then the other thing is, when we do everything we want to brace, you should please check out the bracing video. So we're going to push our fingers between our ribs and our hip bones. We're going to fill our belly with air and push those fingers away. That straightens our spine. And then we're going to put our weight on our toes. And then we're going to push our butt back to the wall and try to sit on that heel until I feel the tension in the back of my leg. I hold for a breath. And then to stand back up, I really want you to think about pushing your foot into the ground. Less picking up your chest, more push that foot into the ground and drive your hips forward. Can we do 10 of these, nice and slow and controlled? Another simple thing to do, let's pretend this is a wall. I want to lie down with my foot on the wall where there's a corner so my other leg can be a little bit extended. Straight is nice. If you need to bend it, because we need to make sure that the lower back here, there's no arch. We want to flatten that lower back to pinch my fingers. That's how you know you're saving your lower back from some stress. So if I need to bring my foot in a little bit to flatten my lower back, that's fine. If you can do it with a straight leg, that's nice too. So pay attention. And then we put our hips as close to the wall as we can, so long as we can keep our leg comfortably on the wall. Some of us need to stay, a foot or so away from the wall, and some of us need to have a bent knee. They're both fine. Once we're here, we're going to do a couple of things. One, we want to try to push the wall over with our heel. So we push 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax. We're trying to use these muscles here and the hip muscles to push the wall over with our leg. Can we do 5 to 10 5-second pushes? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If that starts feeling easy and comfortable, then we can also do pushes with ankle flexions. That will also tighten up the hamstrings and give us some control. So we push into the wall, and then we push on the gas and pull our toes back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, the hamstrings are a really special muscle. They don't just move in a straight line. They have a lot of importance in hip rotation. So we've done the straight press ones. Once those start to feel comfortable and easy, then we're going to do some hip rotations as we are pushing our foot into the wall. So we push our foot into the wall, and then we feel the tension here, and then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Can we do 5 to 10 of those? In order to make these muscles long, we need to strengthen the muscle on the opposite side of the joint. We often forget about how using one side of the joint tells our brain to turn off muscles on the other side. So if I want to be able to bring my knee to my armpit, my brain needs to turn off my hamstrings. And they will do that if I turn on my hip flexors. So I get into this position and I try to lift my foot off the wall, hold, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let it rest. Sometimes that's hard with a straight leg. We can slide our heel down. Sometimes start with, pushing on the gas. And then when my leg is parallel to the ground, then bring my knee up, straighten it, and rest it down to the wall. Slide, pull, lift, rest. 5 to 10 of those. Same thing, we want to make sure that we're doing rotations with the hip at the same time. So once we've done a couple days of the simple lifting our legs, then we're going to lift our leg and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax. 5 to 10 of those. It gets really interesting if you can combine these two exercises. So after a couple weeks, your hamstrings are feeling a little bit better, but you seem to have kind of stopped your progress. Then we do the presses. So press, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then we immediately go into the pull. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back press. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax, pull. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5 to 10 of those back and forths. If we also want to work on our balance, or we have a hard time getting down to the ground, we can do a very similar thing standing up, using a broom if we need to for balance. So I stand up, find a comfortably high bench or chair or table. I place my foot on there. The straighter the knee, the better, but only as straight as you can make. For example, if I try to straighten my knee out any more than this, I end up rounding my back. So I only straighten my knee until I kind of feel it tighten up and my lower back say that's enough. So I want you to find that place where your knee is as straight as possible without letting your back round. Then, once we're there, we're going to push our butt back, lean forward a little bit, and drive that foot into the bench. So I push my butt back, I lean forward just a tiny bit, I feel the tension in that hamstring, and then I use that tension to push my foot down into the bench. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And what I want you to do is not pull your chest up. I want you to use this foot to pull your hips forward. You're not bringing your back up. You're pulling your hips underneath your shoulders. And bonus points if you can gently lift your foot off of the bench too. Or if you need to, with a bent toe or with a bent knee, we get up on our toes and try to tippy toe here. Similar thing, hold for 3 to 5 seconds, switch to here, hold for 3 to 5 seconds. Can we get 10 of those in every day? Thank you for watching, guys. I don't think most of us have the genetics for this. I certainly don't. But I think shoot for the stars and reach the moon, and maybe be able to reach the ground with your hamstrings.